Now, even though right before leaving Harvard and receiving a very prestigious award for a successful medical breakthrough that reverses obesity in adults and children at any age, I was still skeptical. He then shared a practical example that would soon turn the tables on everything I've learned in nutrition in the last 10 years. He said, "If you leave trash sitting out in your kitchen for days, what will eventually happen?" I said, "It will start to stink, decay, and rot." "Right. Now, what if you leave the same garbage in your kitchen for several months?" "Well, the smell would be so bad you would think a dead body was decomposing in the kitchen, and not to mention the maggots that would start to appear." Exactly. He said this is the major problem going on internally in most people's bodies. Countless studies show this is the number one reason 93.6% of people struggle with weight loss, even after working for hours and going on restrictive diets. This trash in scientific terms is called acids. An acidic body holds on to fat to protect itself against the acids that weaken the body's immune system and disrupt metabolic processes. And after years of not addressing the core issue, you will gain even more weight, start feeling sporadic chest pains, and because of the accumulation of fat around your arteries, your heart will start to beat irregularly. Or even worse, your once good cells could transmute into carcinogen cells and lead to incurable heart problems. But get this. Latest studies also state most people in large populations, especially in Western cultures, live highly stressful lives, and this stress produces a harmful acid called cortisol, which is our fight or flight hormone that is produced in your body when you are overwhelmed, experience anxiety attacks, dealing with a divorce, depressed about your weight, or even worried about money issues. But it gets even worse. Most people have no energy, are sluggish and tired all the time, and we eat the wrong foods at the wrong hours of the day, which knocks our natural fat-burning cycles out of balance. Then there's the weight loss seesaw effect, where you lose weight but gain it back much faster, not knowing why. And after seeing the pain of defeat in the eyes of the soldiers, who were all on the brink of giving up, Severino took a deep breath and grabbed me firmly on my right arm and said I have the exact formula that would solve the obesity epidemic that is slowly killing men and women all over the world. And after being kicked out of one of the top universities in the country because I wouldn't keep my mouth shut, I still have my old Harvard medical binder that has the herbs, minerals, and guidelines that will diminish 10% of body fat in any man or woman over the age of 30 in a matter of a few short weeks. And get this, after the first week, the powerful effects of these herbs and minerals, taken in a very specific order, will not only destroy fat, free radicals, heavy metals, and toxins from the body, but it also contains a powerful enzyme that will awaken youthful energy, beautify the skin cells around your body, and also melt triple the fat from the major fat storing points on your stomach and thigh area. Deep down inside, I wanted to believe him. After training so many people for the past 7 years, my biggest challenge was men and women over the age of 30 who suffer from obesity, joint pain, back problems, diabetes, thyroid conditions, and other metabolic diseases. It really was a huge pill to swallow. So the following morning, Severino walked into my tent carrying a small blue binder containing about 21 pages of sloppy handwritten notes. And he said that inside those pages was everything I would need to rejuvenate the cells in anyone's body, regenerate their fat-burning cycles, and kickstart their metabolism back into gear as it did in their 20s. Jokingly, he called it his drug-free Thai method, and he made me swear that I would follow it after he had left. If I'm completely honest, what he wrote down wasn't even really that complicated, but I was very new to some of the all-natural minerals, herbs, and weight-diminishing formulas he gave me. Then, like a bolt of lightning, it hit me. I remember Severino saying that most of these unknown herbs and minerals are eaten daily by some of the most indigenous and healthiest countries in the world, such as Thailand, Japan, and the Philippines. But the most amazing thing was this. Latest studies show for the past 10 years, these countries have one of the lowest obesity, cancer, and heart disease rates in the world. And not only that, they also live the longest and look the youngest. Then it dawned on me that I may be on the verge of a major breakthrough that may revolutionize the health industry, reverse obesity, and slow the aging process to a crawl. So I humbled myself and spent the entire night tearing through every page of the binder, looking forward to sharing it with the soldiers. I met with each soldier privately on Friday evening with the exact plan and instructions that Severino gave me to use during the weekend. And oh boy, I did not expect to be bombarded with such excitement on a Monday morning. Each and every one of them busted through the doors, chattering and bragging about how much sleep they got over the weekend and the surge of energy they felt throughout their bodies. But the mind-boggling things was this. 90% of the soldiers lost an average of 3 pounds over the weekend with light to mild physical activity and did not change their diet whatsoever. It started becoming more and more likely that Severino might be onto something, as they all were sleeping through the night and waking up with more energy and still feeling a dramatic energy boost as the day progressed. They started feeling more and more mentally focused, even with all those harmful high cholesterol and high blood pressure pills floating around inside their bodies. And that wasn't the most fascinating part. Even though Severino's plan forced them to eat more carbs and add more sodium to their foods, which was different from what the current health industry was preaching, they actually began to lose weight at an accelerated rate within the first week. Almost a pound a day was the average. But even with this accelerated weight loss, they didn't feel tired, and that wasn't the amazing thing. They also had 10 times more energy, felt more strength in their muscles, and looked and felt healthier than they've ever felt in years. Not to mention, they were cheating their butts off on the weekends, eating bread and pasta, tearing into homemade pies shipped by their spouses and moms, scarfing down vanilla and strawberry ice cream, basically doing all the things you'd think someone who is trying to lose weight should absolutely avoid. And as you can well imagine, the base trainer in charge was so furious that I was giving them such foods. That jerk went as far as restricting me to the base to prevent me from getting the delicious snacks and sweet tasty desserts that were all on Severino's list. So I had to go secretly on the internet and fast ship the food Severino had prescribed when he wasn't around. And you won't believe what happened next. After a month, the plan Severino gave me went viral around the base. I was helping more people than I could handle. But the intriguing thing was this. Each soldier was required to take a full-grade physical, and my mouth literally dropped to the floor to see men and women in their 40s with LDL levels at 70, which is almost perfect. Even one of the military doctors was so flabbergasted he couldn't put his finger on how 95% of the soldiers he saw that day had a blood pressure reading of 110/80. These types of results are usually found in young children, newlyweds, and youngsters in their 20s. However, with my own 2 eyes, I saw men and women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s with a long history of obesity, heart and metabolic problems. Lab results come back superb. Then things really started to get crazy because civilians and soldiers crowded my living area every evening, all anxious to know what was in this little blue binder that was changing so many lives for the better. And after barking up the wrong tree for so many years to be slapped over the head with this miracle breakthrough, something tragic would happen that would save the life of Patricia. After giving a handwritten version of Severino's plan to almost 300 men and women, that evening, exhausted, I laid my head down on my cot, dreaming about getting back to the States and sharing Severino's plan with the world, to finally have found the hidden treasure to completely transform anyone's body, and show them undeniable proof that you really can slow down the aging process, rejuvenate every cell in your body, lose all the weight you want, and kick a few of your prescription pills to the curb in just a few short weeks. But late that night, I heard a sound that scared the living daylights out of me. The base was under attack. I jumped out of bed, not wearing much of anything, and dashed to the nearest bunker for safety. The entire base was pitch black because there were unidentified men with green masks scouring the base with fully loaded machine guns. And all I could hear was bullet after bullet and the scream of soldiers and innocent civilians running for their lives. All I could think about was my little girl and boy. Crazy thoughts started to enter my head. Would I ever see them again? Would I be able to have a dad and daughter date with my princess? Would I get the chance to throw a football with my little boy at the park? The feeling of uncertainty, not knowing if tonight would be my last, was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. After 8 hours of sitting in a bunker, staring down the barrel of my M16 rifle, sweating bullets, fearing the worst, hearing the cries of women and men not knowing if they would ever see their families again, all of a sudden we heard the most beautiful words ever spoken. All clear. It was such a great feeling of relief, almost like the feeling when your heart skips a beat when you see your child run after a ball into a busy intersection, but saved at the last minute by a good Samaritan. With my head to the sky quietly, thanking God for a second chance, I vowed to make it my mission to make a major contribution to the world. The following month, I would exit the military and fly back to the States with a small 12-page handwritten binder that would spark the miraculous change of 104,988 men and women who all struggled with their weight to completely transform their bodies and reclaim their health. After a week of being home, something was burning deep inside of me. And honestly, I was pondering on how I should introduce Severino's method to the world. But something bizarre would happen. I found myself in a very strange place, a place I haven't been in years. I found myself in front of a huge cathedral, and this is where I would meet Patricia Ron, a 45-year-old overweight woman who was losing all hope. And even though she was sitting, cradling her head with her hands, I could see the tears running down her pale face, helpless. So I decided to grab a seat close to her. I greeted her and asked her what was wrong. Whispering quietly so her daughter couldn't hear, she told me she received some bad, life-threatening news at the doctor's office about her health. And in that very moment, the miracle that Patricia's daughter kept repeating would magically appear before her eyes. With my hand on my chin, I thought to myself, I wonder if Severino's plan would work for Patricia like it did so many others. Patricia told me she was over the age of 40, overweight, a diabetic, had high cholesterol, and was on all kinds of high blood pressure medications. She kept beating herself up, asking, why did I wait so long to do something about my health? I grabbed my handkerchief to wipe the tears from her face, and after sharing story after story of all the amazing weight loss stories of men and women who reclaimed their health, boosted their quality of life, and transformed their bodies in a few short weeks, I asked her if she was willing to try Severino's Thai prescription method for the next 30 days. She said, honestly, I don't know how a 12-page binder is going to help me, but at this point, I'm desperate, and I owe it to my little girl to give it a try. That night, I gave her Severino's plan and told her to follow it step by step every day for the next 4 weeks. And this might sound crazy, but she rang my phone almost every day, shouting, almost blowing out my eardrums, screaming that she lost another pound today. And on top of that, her blue eyes lit up like a blowtorch on day 7 because she was able to easily stick both of her arms in her jeans with room to spare. And the same doctor that told her to basically start planning her funeral was floored when he saw that her body looked thinner, her face was smaller, her skin was glowing, and even her belly had gone down. Her thighs were lean, and her bum was smooth as a baby's bottom. And she no longer had to take any high blood pressure or cholesterol pills. And on the last week of using Severino's plan, she discovered she lost over 37 pounds. Patricia's friends and family were amazed by what had happened to her. They called her and asked her what her secret was, if there was some sort of experimental medication she was taking or some unknown diet system. Many of them had their own health conditions. They were scared about things like high cholesterol, diabetes, even life-threatening prostate cancer. Others were simply fighting a losing battle with their weight. They had been putting on pounds for years. Their stomachs and muffin tops were growing bigger and bigger each day. Their back fat and man boobs was getting more and more annoying, and they were miserable seeing the same body with no change, feeling unattractive and out of shape. But something even more amazing happened when Patricia surprisingly called me on the phone excited. She said her daughter would run home every day in tears from being teased at school because of her weight. And the doctor said she was a few points from becoming a child with diabetes for the rest of her life. But her daughter did something fascinating, something every small child does with their parents. She started to copycat her mom, and in the first 7 days of mimicking her mom, following exactly what was in Severino's plan to lose 6 pounds of fat, and boy, she was happy. Without slowing down, this gave me the confidence to share it with my weight loss camp, which at that time was only 6 people strong, but boy, did it grow fast. In 14 days after giving everyone a copy of Severino's plan, we grew to over 150 men and women per night who were all dropping pounds faster than ever before, restoring their health and reclaiming their youth, being active again like they did in their 20s. I shared it with dozens of friends and family members, and soon their friends and their friends' friends were all seeing major changes in their body. With the help of social media, suddenly, there were thousands of people around the country doing the exact same thing, and people would flood my inbox, sharing their successful stories with me. They all experienced a dramatic reduction in body fat and an incredible boost in energy, optimal lab results for all their vitals, and perfect health. And as I received emotional call after emotional call and hundreds of Facebook messages from both people I knew well and complete strangers thanking me for sharing this plan with them and for changing their lives, it became clear that I had a new calling in life to get this newfound health breakthrough in the hands of the masses, even at the risk of top gym chains and health industries coming after me to bust my balls. Because really, I shouldn't have been alive. I still remember that night in Iraq, seeing bullets fly over my head, and so many of my good friends who were injured, and even a few sadly lost their lives. I believe this was a sign from above, and I would have to be a pretty selfish jerk if I didn't pay it forward and share this plan with others to beat the odds and regain their health, their vitality, and their youth. So for the next few weeks, I approached Women's Health, Dr. Oz, Men's Health, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and even was lucky enough to get a response from Oprah's assistant after sending 1,235 emails, who all slammed the door in my face repeatedly in an effort to get this method out quickly. Maybe because I was a small fish in a big pond. Who knows? So the only viable solution was to take this directly to the public myself. So I put the gloves on and I got busy. I took the same blue binder Severino had given me and turned it into a fully organized, simple-to-follow total fat diminishing wellness blueprint. I made a list of dozens of the most powerful herbs and minerals you should add to your diet right now if you want to lose fat and erase years from your body, radically regenerate damaged cells, and reverse the effects of aging to turn the clock back 10 years in as little as a few short weeks. And a list containing all the supposed health foods and the vegetables that are secretly wrecking your health and keeping you fat, and the absolute little-known body-healing smoothie recipes you need in your body to enhance your youthful quality of life and rid your body of harmful toxins, heavy metals, and free radicals. Plus, I added the exact steps to restore your eating cycles, to shift your metabolism from first to fifth gear in the next 72 hours, which may piss off the Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig folks, but this is essential to your long-term health. But of course, I didn't stop there. Beyond just listing all the nutrients and tasty foods you need, I also included the fastest weight loss week ever that starts today. To kickstart your fat-burning cycles into overdrive to shed 5 pounds of fat from your belly in the first week, even without doing a single minute of cardio, which, step by step, outlines a specific schedule containing the new herbs and minerals you should consume first thing in the morning and in what quantities. Even if you want to lose 30 pounds or more and anatomically slow down your aging as much as 8 years in the first month, everything is presented in simple step-by-step fashion. It is easy to understand, and Severino gives you all of the science behind what we are doing. And we also give you a day-by-day progressive tracking formula, so you can measure your fat percentages versus muscle growth each week without having to pay a single cent or paying a copay at the doctor's office to get your results. So you will know for sure that you're losing fat and gaining muscle rapidly. We have nicknamed this guide the Fat Diminisher System, and out of the 104,988 others who have tried it for themselves, the average first-month weight loss is about 22 pounds. People like Brandy in Toledo, Ohio, lost 30 pounds in the first month. Brianna in Charleston, West Virginia, who lost 20 pounds and 3 dress sizes in 4 weeks before her wedding. And Nancy Babson from Yakima, Washington, who lost more than 53 pounds in 2.5 months. It is important to understand that this isn't just about a quick fix. Yes, you will lose weight, repair damaged cells, and rejuvenate your body rapidly, but the Fat Diminisher is also designed to make you 100% certain that you keep the weight off for good. That is actually what makes Severino's blueprint so unique and special. It is not a gunshot approach to your health, and we fully understand everyone has different needs. So we simply give you the tools and knowledge you need to achieve your optimal level of health. We show you the why and the how and let you approach your health in the way that works best for you. That is also why we give you those tracking charts so you can monitor your own metabolic rate and internal health on your own and make adjustments to your diet as you see fit. There's no calorie counting, strict dieting, or other harsh rules that you have to follow. There is no starving yourself or mail-order meals to buy. And there is certainly no extreme exercise plan because, like we've already discussed, over-exercising will deplete your energy and starve your body of the nutrients it needs to survive. However, if you just want to kill your belly fat and get rid of that muffin top, I'm also going to include a simple-to-follow 4-minute belly shred video along with a little-known belly detox formula that is in your kitchen cabinet right now that will melt several inches from your waist so you can look good at your next wedding, anniversary, or high school reunion. Or if you need to lose 50 pounds like Rebecca and Jim did. If so, go back to page 33 in the book and you will find out how to fix your fat-burning cycles in the next 72 hours to do just that. And even if you're not interested in losing any weight, but just want more energy and to feel healthier, go back to page 64 and do exactly what it says to destroy the free radicals and toxins that are proliferating in your body, absorbing your energy, aging you, and even putting you at the risk of inflammation and heart disease. Fat Diminisher will tell you exactly what you need to do to make that happen. So given everything that is above, it should be pretty clear that there's nothing else like the Fat Diminisher on the planet. It is a fully loaded system that's filled with the tools you need to not only quickly lose weight and regain your physique, but also completely turn around your entire health, even if you are severely ill and on the edge of just throwing in the towel like Patricia was. Of course, that's not to say there are no other options out there, but think about those for a second. You could continue to try every new fad diets and joint-busting DVD programs that hit the market. But the simple fact is this: if these systems really worked, if their claims really were true, then why does the Center for Disease Control still report a 35% increase in obesity each year, and an increasing count of 3,500 people per day are still dying from heart disease and malignant tumors? These are our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles who just didn't know what you will know after using this system.